In this video, I wanted to go over 3 different form properties, and the form properties are those that are actually attached to the form itself. So if you click on your form, you should see your properties window, and I've made mine larger so that you can see a little bit better. So the 3 that I want to set are the Start Position, the Accept Button property, and the Cancel Button property. So I want to run it first so that you'll see what it looks like. Notice that it shows up kind of on the left-hand side of the screen here. And I can go in and put in my temperatures, and make up some numbers here. And if I press the Enter key, normally in a program it would do something, but as I press the Enter key, it just gives me that beep. And let's say if I wanted to exit, instead of clicking the button, I want to press Escape. So again, it just gives me a beep. It won't let me do either one of those. So if I click on Calculate, it gives me the average. It'll clear it, and then I can exit from here. So the Start Position property is the first one I'll talk about. That tells you where the form will display in the screen when you, in the window when you run it. So right now, if you go, just click on the form, and if you go down to the Start Position, you can see its default location. So go in and change that to Center Screen. And if you start the program or run it again, you can see it's more in the middle of the window itself. Okay, so the other buttons, the Accept and the Cancel properties. The Accept button is the button that if the user presses it, and in this case it's by default, it's the Enter key. So if the user presses the Enter key on the keyboard, what do you want it to do? So the Accept button is the Enter key. And normally, and in this case, we have 3 buttons: Calculate, Clear, and Exit. So you already have to have those set up for this to work. So for the Accept button, if the user presses Enter on the keyboard, what do you want Visual Basic to do? So when you look at the drop-down, it gives you the three buttons that are on the form. So in this case, let's just say we've already entered all of the numbers for the temperature. So if we wanted to press Enter on the keyboard, then we would want it to calculate the average. We wouldn't want it to clear or exit if they press the Enter key. So what this will do is when the user presses the Enter key on the keyboard, it will go in and run the same event that is set up for the Calculate button. So that means that if you go into your code, the Calculate button right here, it will go in when the user presses Enter and run any of the code that is in the event. So for the Cancel button property, instead of being the Enter key, this one is the Escape key. So let's press the drop down here. So if the user presses Escape on the keyboard, we would want it typically to exit the program. So we'll choose the Exit button so that we'll automatically exit the program. So for the Accept button, it's whatever you want it to do when they press the Enter key. The Exit button is when you want it to execute an event based on if they press the Escape key. So then if we press Start and I put in my values, and if I press Enter, it will average it, and Escape will exit.